Can't get me. Chase me all you want. You won't catch me. You won't catch me. It's getting close, though. Look at that. Bot speed is starting. Oh, my God. Look at them all. Look at them all. Bot speed is starting to catch up to walking speed with one exoskeleton. That's cool. Yeah, go recharge. Go recharge. Pansies, I win. I win. My poor abused robots. Look at all of them. Look at them all hovering there. I find no end of enjoyment to this game, seriously. Like, even the smallest things like that can be just enjoyable. I don't know. Yeah, well, let's probably stop standing next to my stone and actually do what we need to do today, huh? Well, first things first. I set up the Russian guy enrichment process, the Corvex, Corvinex, this here, this thing, the shut up, I don't pronounce things good like. Basically what it does is it takes your uranium-238, the dark stuff, and turns it into uranium-235. It takes, I think, 3 of them, yeah, you see the recipe there. It takes 3 of them to make 1 uranium-235, 3 of the dark ones, that is, the uranium-238. This enrichment process, one of these machines running this enrichment process provided with enough of the uranium-238, the dark stuff, can basically churn out enough fuel to power, I think, something like 40 of these nuclear reactors. So, this setup is a bit overkill, as, you know, spaghetti as it is. It's an effective setup. I don't take blueprints from the community. I could, but I don't. I much prefer to build the stuff myself. This is a very... It looks it's not very complicated. It's very simple. I could go over it. I'm not going to. You figure it out for yourself. I'm just fucking kidding. Essentially, how much iron is in here? Oh, plenty. Essentially, what it does is these guys spit out the 238 and 235 onto this belt right here. This splitter splits off the 238, the dark stuff, into these chests down here, which are just temporary storage. Eventually, those will get turned into something else. And it lets the light stuff go through to these 2 inserters here. Now, these 2 inserters here have a red wire on them. You see that? That is linked to this chest over here. Basically, this inserter looks at that chest and says, if there is less than 9 of these fuel cells in that chest, that it should grab one of the bright pieces. And this inserter says, if there's more than 9 in there, it should grab one. So essentially, if I have more than 9 fuel cells, the bright stuff, the 235, gets sent along this track over to my Russian guy enrichment process, which for these, again, complete overkill, especially with speed module 2s in them. Why the fuck are there speed modules in those? I don't know. It sends it over here. This guy sucks it in, and then it spits it out. Okay, so it sucks it in. It sucks in 40 of the bright stuff, and I think like 5 of the, yeah, 40 of the 235 and 5 of the 238. It spits out 41 of the 235 and 2 of the 238. So there's 1 more bright than there was when it spits it out here. Basically, this just turns it all back around and cycles it back into the system in an organized manner. So the dark stuff is always on this bottom line, and the bright stuff is always on the top. That's that in a nutshell. Basically, this one here, yeah, that's what it does. Sorry, it just basically keeps circling it around until it creates a positive feedback loop and just creates more and more and more and more. And eventually, once it loads up, once this chest here, which is just a pass-through chest, by the way, loads up on the 235, once it has more than 10 in it, I've set this inserter here, you can see the condition right here. This inserter will enable when this chest here has more than 10 of the 235 in it, and then it'll dump it off into a provider chest. Basically just siphoning a little bit from the system at a time. Ensuring that I keep enough of the 235 circulating in the system to power these enrichment processors here. And essentially, once it loads up, it won't take any more ore. So I can have a full chest of 235 and take from it, knowing that I won't shut down the process in the process of using the fuel. We'll use that later on to power our trains through the use of this right here, nuclear fuel. You can see the vehicle acceleration modifier, 250%. Basically, this is the god fuel for your trains. It holds a whole shit ton of fuel in it. It only takes 1 in a stack. It's the best fuel you can make. Some people would argue rocket fuel is a lot easier to deal with. We have the ability. We're going to make the fuel. Okie dokie. What we were doing today. No, you didn't miss an episode, by the way. There was just a lot of stuff I had to do to set up what we're going to do today. Essentially, you see all these gray tracks? Those are rails, right? Those are train tracks that lead into the base and out of the base in this kind of grid pattern. Don't mind the kill boxes. That's for my sake, not for yours. I brought 2 down here, and we got a new uranium patch. There was another one a little further down the track that I saw, but this 2.3 million, I was thinking that this over here, this 5.2 million patch, was going to be enough to keep us for the end of the game. Like, this was going to be totally way too much. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. This 2 million patch here is going to be complete overkill. This will last us through the end of the game with no trouble. And by end of the game, I mean like way far into the end of the game. No troubles at all. There was also a 12 million coal patch that I occupied down there, and it comes up here. I can probably turn this off so you can actually see what the fuck I'm talking about. That comes up here to my coal train and does a little coal drop off here. It integrates it into my line. This is messy. It goes over to my coal liquefaction that turns basically coal into my oil products. We can't find any more oil wells, so we have to use the coal to make oil, which these aren't operating. Why? Oh, I'm loaded up on stuff. Good. That's a good thing. That's because of another problem that we'll get onto here in a second, and the reason that I started recording. You'll notice our science is not doing too great. Also, this is a terrible science setup. Like, this was just thrown together quickly. Don't mind that. You should really not mind anything that I'm doing here. This is all for the sake of just me enjoying the game, honestly. This is by no means the most optimized setup. So, all of that is a long way of saying we need to get more copper. You can see here our copper line is not great. Oh, I also moved on to blue belts and blue underground belts and blue splitters, express belts they're called. They're 50% faster than red belts, 3 times faster than yellow belts. Red belts are 2 times faster than yellow belts. Yeah, you get the math there. They're just the faster belt. They're more expensive to make, but now that they're down in the mall, it's down there in the mall. I'm using my thumb to point down there. You're going to have to believe me. They're down there, which I'm not going to have to go down there again. I can just use a logistics network to request whatever the hell I want from it. So, we're going to have to rebuild this. Nah, not necessarily. We don't need to rebuild the smelter array yet. We will rebuild that for beaconing later. Beaconing being something I'll get onto. That's end game stuff. We'll get onto that a lot later. Don't worry about that. So, we have this copper patch down here. Well, it's a long run. There's a lot of space here. You wonder why there's a lot of space here? I'll show you in a second. It's going to be needed. My little tiny last little bastion of a copper patch down here. See it? See the poor guy? Yeah, she's running dry. She ain't got a lot left in her. She's got, oh, can't see that number, 284k ore left. But that's not really the problem. The amount isn't the issue. It's the amount that I can pull out in a continuous fashion. The throughput of the mine is not very high. I can't get a lot out of it at once. I mean, this is just barely more than a red belt worth of ore, and a science-producing factory that does 25 a minute or whatever the hell I'm doing, I think requires like 2, so yeah, that's not going to cut it. Not going to cut it at all. In fact, once we finish what we're going to do today, that's going to be completely cut off and just ignored, because it's unnecessary. Or superfluous even. The iron mines that I have over here will last us through this little endeavor, I think, and on to the next thing, I hope. So, we have to build us a train station, and a train station unlike anything I've showed you guys yet, which is really fun, actually, because I haven't gotten the chance to build one of these in a big scale yet. I'm actually kind of excited for this. This is going to be fun. I know what size of train I want to use, and some people of the community might be a little upset, but that's all right. Let's figure out where we want to pull this off the track. I pushed the turrets back, too, so this opened up all this room up here for us to work with. Oh, you see the shiny spot on the... Oh, well, I was going to say something about the shiny spot on the map, but I have artillery cannons like this. The things that we researched, it might have been the episode before last, it might have been last episode. I have artillery cannons spotted around the place with requester chests from the logistics network. I automated building the cannon shells, so these guys can just fire at whatever the hell they want. I think I went over this, but you see the light green, or the light red? That's where they can shoot in an automated range, and you'll notice that there's no biter nest, barring this one, which I don't have logistics coverage down that far, you'll notice. So, barring that turret over there, or that cannon, it keeps the biters out of this area. And we've got one other way to do that, which I'll go over in a minute, but we'll work on the train base for now. So, how are we going to do this? This is all my way of putting off actually building this, because I'm not sure exactly how I want to do it, as excited as I am to do it. I have these nice blueprints that I built specifically for this, which, yes, I did build. I did not okay, I should probably go over rail signaling here real quick, briefly. This is butterfly kisses right here, okay? The rail network, you see how it runs 2 rails? Left, right, yeah. What the fuck? Left side and right side of the road is the theory that we're going to follow on rail travel, right? Right side of the rail is how you're always going to drive. So if it's coming this way, if it's going down on the screen, it's on the right side. To it's on the right side, right? Going up on the screen, it's on the right side. Yeah. Basically, that's how you build your rail network. And they have these little rail signals in here. See these guys? These are rail signals. Now, this is kind of a black magic in and of itself, but I'm not entirely sure I fully understand how it works, but you can kind of see the different blocks that the train grid decides where is occupied and not occupied by a train currently. we're really not gonna have to worry about that. I don't even know that I know enough about it to give a basic explanation, so I'm just going to ignore it for now. Just know that signaling is a thing and may become a problem later on. I hope not, but it might. So this is just a basic pull in. Takes off the train network. You'll notice there's no exits on that. Both those are trains coming into the array, or into the stacker in this case, which is what we're going to build. Now, bear in mind, we're going to have to build 2 of these because we have copper and iron both over here. We're going to have to build 2 fairly high throughput stackers. I would like to have at least, maybe 3 blue belts of ore coming off of both of those. So we're going to have to build a decent throughput thing here. And I'm not entirely sure. Okay, no, I can make this work. We're going to make this work. Okay. I don't know if this is too close to this intersection. If that's going to cause problems, let's go ahead and leave it a train length. Let's keep the signals a train length apart. Not for any particular reason, just for my sanity more than anything. We'll make the robots build this thing. Hopefully I have the signaling intact to do that. I do. Okay, we're good there. We won't worry about the signaling for now. We'll leave that aspect completely out. And let us build our rails. Yeah, you know what? It's not going to be the most space-efficient setup that I've ever done, but I think it's going to work. Okay, so we're going to do it like this. We're going to build this all the way over here, making note that I'm going to be using 1 locomotive with... Well, actually, I can test the size of it now. I'm going to be using 1 locomotive. Here we go. Here's 1 locomotive. Ka-chunk. That guy with... bonk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wagons on it. Okay, so that's the size of block that I need. This is where we get into the element of the game that is train travel, which is its own little thing, really. Okay, so we take that, and... My smelting arrays are going to go upwards. They're gonna increase in size upwards. So we want to make sure we leave room. We're not going to go left of that turret, basically. So we want to take this. Since that's long enough, we don't have to worry about making it any longer because it'll fit that 6-car train, right? It'll fit that just fine. So let's toss down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big chunks of track. You'll notice I'm just shy of my copper line too. That was just kind of a lucky break there. Okay, let's just try that. We'll just shoot that back and leave it there for now. Okay. This might be a bit of an issue because I wasn't really planning on doing it like this, but that's alright. Now we can break off. That's too close. And I'm noticing now where I've made a mistake. Yep, definitely made a mistake doing that. Okay, so what we can do, we take this intersection here and we scoot it down. This will all become clearer here in a second. Let's take this intersection, let's scoot it down to about like here. Do it like that. That's a good spot for that. Okay. And because I know that curve works, I can just straight up curve this guy at maximum torquage. Maximum torque curve. Okay. There's that. Alright, let's try this again. Now, we can make... I don't know what the spacing should be on these or what it's supposed to be. I don't know if I can go any closer than that. I think I might be able to. Let's try a little bit closer, like here. Is that too close? Well, it helps if there's trees out of the way. Get out of the way, tree. Do it like that. And then extend it out the same amount, and then recombine it back with the other rail. Get off. Yeah? Same side. Fucking, what is with all this shit in the way? Get out of the way, shrub. Stupid shrubs. Nobody ever likes fucking shrubs anyway. Alright, same size. And then the curve again. Because it's not the same size. It's not the same size. Oh, that's not going to annoy me at all. That's the same size. There, now we're getting her. Don't know if those are too close together or not, but I think that's going to work. Okay, now we can actually size the damn thing. Taking note to leave room if I need to add any more in there, which I probably shouldn't, but, you know. Let's just go ahead and just call it that. There we go. What happened to this? Okay, that should work. That's four trains can sit in this thing and wait when they need to deposit ore. Okay. So we have a general size. We can cut it off about right there. So we have a size that our stacker is going to be. Now we need to build a deposit station, taking note that the trains need to be able to pull into the stacker. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and signal this before I forget about it. Because they're only going to be driving on this side of the track. They're only going to be on... they're only going to be heading forward into this. They're never going to be heading out this direction. So we can just put signals, I think, like this on the track. Right. And then we can use the chain signals. I know this doesn't make any sense to anyone because I haven't explained how any of this works, but believe me, I have no fucking clue how any of this works either. What I'm doing is following community guidelines to this kind of shit. Okay. I don't fucking know. You know what, actually, let's, for the sake of being pretty, let's set these up here. So that separates each one of these pieces into individual blocks, so a train car can be on those. One train can be on those, and another train car can pull in and say, oh, hey, there's a train on the top track, so I can go into the second to the top track. It'll park and queue up to come down into this thing, which I'm not sure that I need another one. I don't think I need another rail signal down here. I think I can just get by with a station. So, do we want to curve this in? I think we should curve this in. Yeah. Yeah, because then we actually might be able to make use of, if I have my other blueprint here. Oh, don't mind those. Oh, hey. There's some fancy fucking blueprints on. Oopsie doopsie. That one. So you'll notice that's half of the take off the line. Let's go ahead and add in the other half of that. There's rail signals in the way though. So I know this line works. I know I've been using these intersections. Well, that's the wrong button. Oh, well, that's also the Jesus Christ, Q, please. I know that intersection works, so let's do this. Well, I mean, I know both the intersections work because I've been using the other one on my coal for like, you know, a couple hours now. You guys haven't seen that, but it's been working. Okay, let's just throw that intersection there. Because that has an inlet and an outlet, and it's all signaled correctly. I know that for a fact because I copied it off of someone else. So we can build our little train depot. If we line it up with this thing, actually, we can save a little space here. If we line it up with this side, this is the exit, mind. Line it up with this side. That, we know it's long enough to take an entire train. Oh my god, did I really get that first try? Holy shit, I turned that just right first try. Nice. We know that's long enough for a train. Get rid of this last little block. So, we can just put our signal on the exit. Signal being this guy right here. Taking note that it's on the right side of the track. And also taking note that we're using a 5 train car so we can know how long that is and put it about right here. Right there. Right there. Fuck it. If we wanted to be all aesthetically pleasing and shit, you wouldn't be watching me play this game, would you? There we go. Okay, so in theory, I should be able to have 4 trains running on this track, picking up ore and bringing it back, and just waiting to deposit it. In theory. Now, in practice, that might not work as well. We'll find out shortly, I suppose. But, for the moment, let's build us. Do I have any fuel on me? Of course I don't have any fucking fuel on me. Why would I have fuel on me? Am I inside the logistics network? Do I even have solid fuel in a logistics box? Let's see if I can have a robot bring it to me. Solid fuel. Give me 50 of it, robots. What are you taking from me? Oh, I have an auto trash set up, by the way, so I never have to see these things again. The fast inserters being I only want to have 50 of them on me at any one time. You can set up a certain amount. Like I can set logistics to say, give me 50 of this, and if I go over 50, get it away from me. You get what I'm saying? I never have to see wood or the red stuff. Just get rid of it. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. It's gone. Is there a bot from the logistics network coming? Is anyone coming? Is UPS delivering my package by drone? Amazon, hello? Have you developed drone courier service yet? No, I guess I'll just run down there then. Oh, hey, what do you know? My solid fuel box is not in a certain kind of chest. Passive provider chest. Get in that box, you stupid solid fuel. Now you provided to the network. Hi, robots. Where were you before? I'm going to call Amazon and leave a 2-star review of your stupid, shitty delivery drones. Not taking out of stuff they're supposed to be taken out of. Hey, why is my circuits backed up? Oh. So something I didn't mention about splitters, you can set priority. So in this instance here, you see the splitter is facing to the left. The right side of it I have set as priority, which means it's going to try and keep the right side of the track full. It's something I didn't use before, limited use at best, and really it's only when you're in these kind of situations like this. And also it's stifling the rest of my base for production. So, yeah, not the greatest, but it's a stopgap measure to make sure I have circuits. Go ahead and name this stop here. What are we even working on? Copper drop. Copper drop. Copper drop. Do we want to change the color? Is there a yellowish color that I can go to that's kind of not... It's like an orangish yellow. Orangish yellow? Hey, 150, 255. Hey, fucking works good for me, bruh. Copper drop. Okay. So now we can just tell this train here. We can just throw some fuel in it. Check this out. Throw some fuel, add the copper drop to the schedule. And we'll just say inventory empty because that's what it's going to be anyway. And we can tell it to go to the station. That'll move the train to where it's going to park when it comes in a station. Taking note not to get hit by the train. That would kill us. That would kill us dead. So that's where it's going to stop whenever it comes into the station. That's going to be important. So, yep, that's correct. Everything is right. It's at the station. Now, we have these fast inserters. I haven't used, stack inserters. The green ones here. I haven't used these yet, but now's a good time. So let's just go ahead and do this. Like so, and pop off every one in between the train cars here. Why is my frame rate going to garbage? What's going on here? There we go. So you'd use these stack inserters. They can pull 12 items at a time, and it's just, it's the way you're supposed to do it. Throw some chests in between. You guys have seen me build a station before. Build a station before. English is hard. You guys have seen me build a station before. It's not any different than that, except I'm using the stack inserters. So essentially, it empties the cargo off the wagon into these chests faster than the blue inserters, which I'm going to use on the output, if I know where my blue inserters are. Faster than these blue inserters here can throw them on the belt, right? And that combines to mean that I can have more trains running through here at once. It really isn't strictly necessary. I don't need to be using stack inserters on just one side of this. It's more for me because when I have to come along and upgrade this, when we go to full speed blue belts, I won't have to upgrade as much. So, correct design on these things here, I think is like that. Mind the flashing power icons, because when an inserter drops on a rail that's pointing away from it, it always drops on its right side, right? Am I correct in that? Do I have somewhere else in the base that I can prove that right? Whoa, hey, what's that? Oh my goodness. Look, do you see this here? That's a little bit of iron mixed in with copper. Hey, you remember that problem we had where the iron was with the copper? Found it. Found it indeed. Okay, buddy. Let's see here. Well, that seems to work all right. I'm just going to assume that that's what I said was correct. I don't... Get out of my inventory. Get back in there. Oh, you're feeding me solid fuel and shit. I must have walked back into the logistics network range. Why do I have so much solid fuel on me? Get all that coal back in that wagon. Am I taking the coal out of the wagon? I was taking the coal out of the wagon. I was holding shift. Damn it! There. Jesus. Fucking hotkeys, man. How do they work? Okay, what did we learn from that? Okay, look. So you see how that works? I want to have it on the other side up there. So the short side should be on the left up there because it's inverted, obviously. So, short side on the left. Got her? That's how we build her. So in theory, this is capable of providing us with 5 blue belts worth of copper ore. In theory. Now, sustainably, I don't know if that's possible. That would mean emptying this entire chest thing every, I don't know how many seconds. Really, really, really fast, considering these are blue belts. We can test this, or we can not. For the sake of this base, at this point, this is severe overkill. Like... 2 blue belts of copper is going to be more than enough to saturate my belts for a while now. At least until I start ramping up production of science or doubling or tripling it. So, this is absolute overkill. We can just cut this down using combiners, or I'm sorry, splitters. We can just split this bad boy down into 1 or 2 lanes. It is slightly limiting, and because there's 5 lanes here, we're going to get uneven draw, given that we can only combine 2 at a time. I could throw a nice balanced lane balancer on this thing. For the moment, I'm not going to do that. We're going to absolutely ignore the fact that the ore coming out of this thing is not going to evenly pull from the chest, despite me making this nice, beautiful setup. It simply isn't necessary right now. With the amount of throughput we're doing, we're not going to be worried about that. All right. Now then. This is the support side. We got one side of this done. Let's go take a look at the other side, and I may have to do some maintenance before we go do that, because I want to take this patch right here, this 3.2 million, and I want to take this 10 million patch. Maybe even this 8.1 million patch over here. Oh my god. There's a tiny little dot of oil right here. 86% yield. Are you kidding? Well, the game is laughing at me at this point, right? I mean, that's ridiculous. Don't mind this, by the way. That's just me shooting cannon shells into the darkness. The game's laughing at me at this point. What the fuck? Come on. Oh, man. Also, this is old map data. These biter nests, if we hold on. If we go, if I could actually frickin' type. If we look at our evolution factor, you'll see that they have, they're at 0.91, which means they're 91% evolved. The biters, the enemies of the game, are 91% evolved. You can see the breakdown of how that evolution happened. It's really not to be too worried about at this point. After the 90% mark, they start spawning green biters. Green biters have like 10 times the health of the other biters. I forget what they're called, gargantuans or some shit like that. Doesn't matter. What's important about that is that the green biters are a slight threat. If you get groups of them coming up to your base, they will destroy defenses without hesitation. They will also take out an uncontested train car with absolutely no remorse whatsoever, meaning we have to step into the other thing that I did while you guys were away. And the reason that this looks like it's so much of an advanced state, like I skipped an episode. No, I had to do a lot of prep work for something else. I'll show you. Oh, also we have these destroyer capsules in our inventory. See those down there? They're basically drones that you can spawn whenever you want that shoot shit. Yeah, they're the end game drones that protect you. Wow, that was a lot of robots. Oh, so we have these to protect our trains if we need that. If we need them. We'll get on to why we might need them here in a second. Despite the obvious, there's another less obvious reason. So this up here, this little train beauty right here, I may or may not have showed you this. This is an artillery wagon. Basically, it's an artillery cannon. Like, they're spotted around the map. They're what I use to clear out the map. The dark red or the light red circles. The very faint red circles. Only this one is attached to a train, which I hope has fuel in it. It has enough fuel. Let's throw a little more fuel in there. It is attached to a train, which means I can take this train and I can drive it wherever the hell I want and have a mobile artillery wherever the hell I want. Now that has its drawbacks, honestly. Whenever you kill a biter base, whatever biters were there will swarm whatever direction the artillery shell came from. Now, being that we're shooting it from an undefended train, that means they can attack my train car with little repercussion. Let's go ahead and clear this one here first. Clear this one to the right. The one around this smaller bed. Jesus fucking Christ, looks like it got eaten. What the hell happened here? Okay, so there, you see him? What's he called? He's called a behemoth. Behemoth biter. Alright. So this is another reason that I have my weird blueprints. No, don't shoot anything yet. So this right here, okay, I'll show you in a second once I get it down. Let's go ahead and just plop it down real quick. Hurry. Quickly. Plop that down pretty please. Please plop that down. Please plop it down. Get some turrets in the works. You want to put some assembly in there? You want it? There's the power grid. That's what I want to see. Okay, Jesus Christ. So this is my little defensive grid that I've been using. It's a blueprint that I whipped up real quick. Essentially, this is going to allow me just to kill biter nests. That's the entire reason that I built this, is so that I could sit here and let my artillery kill biter nests. Wow, I thought it couldn't shoot that close. Ooh, see how long it took to kill that behemoth biter? Bohemian biter? Yeah, they're a bit of a threat. Alone like that against, you know, fucking 27 turrets, not a big deal. But when you get them into your base defenses where you're spread kind of thin, it can be a problem. Also, apparently I don't have any gates on me. That's something. Maybe go ahead and remove that from the blueprint. Oh, I should note the wagon only carries 100 rounds. You can stack it full with 100 rounds, and then you have to go back. That's why I have that little refill station up there, because as cool as this is, it takes a lot of resources to power something like this, and it takes a minute to build those rounds. Thankfully, I have quite a backlog back at the base that I've been kind of setting up for a while, so we're not too worried about that at the moment. Let's just let this thing do its job killing shit for, I don't know, 5 minutes. You want me to speed it up? I'll time-lapse this if you want. We can just speed it up a little bit, yeah? You want me to zoom out a little bit? Here, let's go about right here. Alright, I'll see you in a second. I should note, while this speedy little time-lapse is running, the biters like to destroy power poles. They haven't quite yet. I don't know if they're going to at some point during this, but they very well may. But, I mean, they'll run across the train tracks, and their pathing will run them into a power pole to where they can't get around it, and they'll just fucking destroy it. Which, you see there's a group running along the tracks now. I don't know if they're gonna do it or not. Sure did. Sure fucking did. That's not a good thing for me. Not a good thing for me at all. This is where the destroyer drones come in. Here you go, guys. Go ahead and blow some shit up, destroyer drones. How many can I launch you at once? 8, I think, is my number. We'll just back this train up here, use the drones to replace the power pole, hopefully. Drones, please replace the power pole. Drone, please replace the power pole. One of you idiots replace the... Do I have any drones? I have 46. They replaced the power pole already. I'm the idiot. Never mind. I think that's us. I think that's all the fucking all the biters' nests destroyed. Look at the slew of dead bodies and look at all the frickin' green ones. That's awesome. Also, these destroyer capsules are great. They definitely saved my ass in that scenario, and they've saved me before a couple dozen times, so good to know we have that. Okay. If I were to leave this train parked here, it would continue shooting nests as they spawn in and cause additional waves of enemies to come in while I'm trying to build this, and I don't want that to happen. Now, I'm going to tear this defense down, drive the train back, and come back with probably the ore train, I imagine. There we go. Tear down the defensive grid on the train track and build my defenses for the patch itself. You'll note that I am going a little bit heavy on the defenses. It's not strictly necessary, however, given that we have just reached the behemoth? I'm gonna keep calling bohemian fucking biters. The big biters, the green ones, too much isn't really a thing, so given that turrets are cheap and I have a lot of them and they're infinitely reusable, I don't have a problem with using a whole bunch of them like that. Alright, let's belt this bad boy up now. And because I have 5 wagons, and because throughput is kind of a thing, not necessarily a large concern right now, but it will be at some point, and you know, you gotta be somewhat efficient at some points in time. I can't do all of this by the seat of my pants, right? I can't be completely useless about everything. We're gonna keep these lanes broken down slightly. Let's see how many main lanes I have here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes here. 2 of those are gonna be probably fully saturated. I can probably manage, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can probably manage 6 lanes out of this. We can turn that down into 5 pretty easily. Yeah, let's go 5 lanes. So there's where our 6 lanes come out. Keep in mind that those aren't going to be fully saturated. I doubt any one of them is going to be fully saturated with ore mined. So we're going to have to make sure that we at least pseudo-balance those. This would be the one point where you would probably want to use a balancer, but like I said, I almost can't be bothered to use balancers. I never got time for that shit. So there's us. And before I forget, just to note that this track may have more than one train on it, I would like them not to be smashing into each other. Where are they at? Let's go ahead and just put a rail signal. We'll make a pseudo stacker. This is not the best way to do this, and generally I probably wouldn't. Well, you know what? I don't know what I'm talking about, so maybe this is the best way to do this. We'll just split this track down. Essentially that one, and we'll make it a train length back and put one right here. So if there is a train up there, it doesn't get smashed into by 1 or even 2 trains behind it. Which I think I'm only going to have 2 trains on this track initially, so that's perfect. Alright, put that right there, and there's something I didn't show you about the other side, the other thing. Let's name this stop over here, actually. That's what it was. There we go. I can also change the color of the train. If I didn't make that apparent before. Which I may not have. It's something you can do. Yeah, there. There, now it's a yeller train. Good old yeller train. Alright, and we can add the copper pickup 1, and we'll say inventory full, doesn't really matter. We can tell it to go to the station. Get your ass to that station so we can tell where to put our frickin' inserters. Remembering not to get hit by the train, because that would be bad news bears. Same setup we did up there, only now, so we can load both sides of the train. It is something we can do, and we may end up having to do that. Sorry, fucking with my headphones. We may end up having to do that by the end of this episode. Initially, though, let us just see what it takes to fill this train. You know what? Maybe we should do both sides. I don't fucking know. How many stack inserters do I have? So I've got 50 stack inserters. How many is it going to take to do one side? I could just do 6 times 5, you know, which would tell me 30, but I'm a pretty big idiot, so, you know, whatever. So it takes 30 to do one side of the train. I've only got another 20 left, so let's just ignore the fact that I'm not doing both sides of the train right now, okay? Oh, I tried to make it fancy. I'm not, my CSGO days are behind, behind me. Oh yeah, I ran out of chest, if that wasn't clear. There we frickin' go. Okay. Do I really only have 20 blue inserters too? Damn it, Logistics Network, you let me, oh, they're not even in my logistics. Why is that even a thing? You dirty bastards, you dirty, dirty bastards. Damn it. Well, that sucks. Also, the trash slots down here act like additional inventory slots. So that's kind of a cool little feature. Excuse me while I take the train back up and grab some more supplies. Okay, so you know what? Essentially, since this ore patch is essentially a perfect circle, I mean, we get three rows from each side, and it just happens that I put the miners on in such a way that it's fairly balanced of an output. Let's go ahead and split this side underneath to the other side, and we'll leave this side to stack this side. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Hold on, I'll just do it. Unfortunately, I'm going to go with a good enough solution on this one. Unfortunate? Is that unfortunate? No, it's just, it's going to be the way it is. I mean, if we have problems with it, we'll be able to optimize it later, but for the moment, I think that should be fine. Essentially, we can just copy this, rotate it around, and plop it down on the other side. Hopefully. Like so. So we don't have to build jack shit. Assuming we have enough inserters and or chests. Which, do we? Oh fuck, no we don't. Of course we don't. Why would we have enough of any of those things? For the record, if I haven't said this enough, there is probably a better way to do this. there is more than likely a better way to do this. I'm just not doing it because, like I said, I like to figure this shit out for myself. It's more fun if you kind of do it for yourself. We'll go ahead and power this whole grid now, and then hop in the train and let her fill up. Yeah, as I expected. You see the throughput right there? You see how much ore is actually coming into these things? Yeah, it's not a whole lot. That will get better as mining efficiency increases. Maybe not necessarily with this mine, but in general it will get better. Oh, what I was saying, yeah, you'll notice that top side isn't quite done. That's fine. We'll swing back down here with another load. Once we fill this thing up with ore, we'll swing it back down and fill it up. Are these all backwards? Of course they fucking are. Why would they not be backwards? I guess it's a good opportunity to see how fast the stack inserters work. Turn you on to manual. You'll notice the stack inserters on the other side of the train trying to take it off of the train. It's kind of funny. Who noticed that those were backwards before I did? Huh? Did anybody else notice that before I did? Yeah, I bet that was killing you on the inside, wasn't it? Oh man, I bet that was killing you. Are they all the right direction now? Who the fuck knows? Doesn't matter. We're just gonna hop on our train. Oh, this is all gross overkill for the size of this ore patch, BT dubs. This ore patch does not merit. This 3.2 million patch does not merit the setup that I've got going on right here. However, I can blueprint this setup now. Now that I've built it once in game, I can blueprint this setup, and I can just use it for the other things. Because there's nothing intrinsically wrong with this setup. It really will work for any size ore patch. So, you know, building it was not an entire waste at this site, because once it's blueprinted, I mean, you have the entire thing. Speaking of which, I can probably just, since we don't need the lead up to it, let's just grab that. I mean, that chunk right there in and of itself is super valuable. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. The belting will need rearranged for any site that I might use, but that's alright. That's easy enough. And the train car's full. Hooray! Off we go. Now this should drive through the top stacker, or is it going to drive through the bottom stacker? The bottom stacker. Hey! Efficiency. And stop. Good. Now we need to power all this bullshit. Oh, look at that. It outputs about a blue belt worth of ore. Interesting. And then what we'll do, we'll just slam this into the other ore line. Because we're not entirely done oopsie. Because we're not entirely done building this, we'll just use it as a supplementary ore income for the moment. Okay, so you get, where'd my train go? So you get the idea. Let me go finish that optimization and we'll take a look at what kind of throughput this thing offers for us. Man, those logistics robots are nice. Super nice. Have you already been back again? Seriously? Damn. Oh, just pull into the station. Get over there. Get over there, let's go watch. Come on. Come on. Look at all the inserters working in unison. Look at them all. Look at how fancy that looks. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. You could set that. Jesus, that was fast. You could set that as a wallpaper if you wanted to. Now you see why we have the stacker there. You see how fast that car emptied? That's only with one side running. I think somebody did the math, and with 12 stack inserters, or within stack inserters that can move 12 items at once, maxed out, I think it can empty a train car like this in like, I want to say it's like 40 seconds. Is that right? I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. Look, my drones should replace the chest now and the inserters. There they go. Good deal. How long does it take to fill? Is it a similar amount of time to fill? Probably not. It's probably much slower to fill the cars than it is to empty them. Which means there should be a stacker at the fucking ore station. It is nice though, the balancers, or the pseudo balancers, the good enough for what they're doing right now balancers are doing their job. I mean, they're splitting the ore pretty evenly. The center line there, that middle one, this guy right here, is getting more than all the rest of them, because the other two are split between twos, but I mean, it's fine. Look how quick it empties. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. We should probably hop out of this before we get trapped into another trip while we're here. Get out. Bye, train. You did a good job. Bye-bye. We gotta put down roboports now. Bye-bye. Did that add anything to the video? Probably. Oh my god, I've got 5 roboports. I had more of these than I thought I did. Yeah. Not using a blue belt worth of throughput at all. Not even one blue belt worth, I don't think. Look at that. Look at how slow these things are moving. Combined with the other belts that I have down here running, that's probably a full belt of copper ore too. Yeah. We're maxing this thing out for sure, like I thought we would. I kind of wish we weren't, so we could tell what our bottlenecks are here, but realistically, it's fine for what it is. And it can be upgraded. It can be expanded. Very much so expanded. Oh, here it comes. And there we go. Well, guys, that's that. Awesome. It works. Everything's just dandy. Fucking fantastic. We got a couple of more of these we have to do. We got a few more ore patches to pick up. We're almost there, though. We have a little bit. I've been researching follower robot count this entire... Jesus, that was fast. This entire time, but... If we look at our research tree, you'll note that I have very few research options left. One of them includes the rocket silo. We may touch on that here in a bit. Probably not next episode, but soon enough, guys. Thanks for watching. Love you much, and I will see you in the next episode.